There has to be a genuineness and a sincerity here. Republicans say they want deficit reduction and deficit control. They vote against a deficit commission. I do hope President Obama will use an executive order to create a deficit commission, in spite of what Republicans may say. You can't have it one day, Monday in the morning, and have a different message in the afternoon on Tuesday. I think it just has to be fair. Now, Democrats deserve some blame here, but Republicans have to be honest too.
This conversation exemplifies what's wrong with Washington. It's like two guys fighting in the ocean to see who drowns first. I mean, both parties are responsible for the deficits, and both parties are responsible for the fiscal suicide. And if you look at the polls that came out, a whole bunch of polls came out this week, and they show both parties very negative. Unprecedented levels of distrust in Washington. Unprecedented, historically high levels of people who want to get rid of their member of Congress from both parties. A level of distrust of Washington that is absolutely unprecedented in American history, and it's because the two sides are trying to fight each other than actually do something bipartisan or actually do anything. And so bipartisanship has become a wedge issue, a way to make the other party look bad. So bipartisanship has been twisted into just another partisan reign.
But the issue is not bipartisanship qua bipartisanship. It's hypocrisy. I mean, if you are for PAYGO, if you're for a deficit commission, until the president of the other party comes around for it and then you're against it, we're not talking policy anymore. We're not talking about bipartisanship. You shouldn't be blamed for not getting Republican votes on that. That's hypocrisy. If you vote against the omnibus bill, if you complain about the omnibus bill, if you tout your vote against the omnibus bill, it is hypocrisy to then go to your district and go to a ribbon-cutting ceremony for something that's funded by the omnibus bill that you voted against. It's not just bipartisanship as a sort of platonic virtue.
I can pick up the Democratic points. If Obama wants to say, I'm going to balance the budget, and then say, but I won't cut taxes on the bottom 98%, well, that's also somewhat hypocritical or inconsistent. Or if he says, I want bipartisan health care, but then invites the cameras into a bipartisan discussion and already has the plan he's going to come out with after the health care summit, that's also slightly political.
David Brooks, will there be reform this year?
I would say the chances are 70% no. I mean, I don't think there's going to be much of a deal. I think that the big picture is if you average like the last 10, 15 polls on the Democratic health care reforms, it's against probably 55 no, 38% yes, something like that. It's just hard to do a big national transformation when the public.
But that's something you wrote this week, that voters are in no mood for a wave of domestic transformation.
Right.
Were they initially?
I don't think so. I think, you know, we had a period between 1932 and 64 where people basically trusted their government. And that ended because of Vietnam and Watergate and a lot of other reasons. When the president came in, it was not like 32 and 64. People had this incredibly high level of distrust. And if they had this economic security and you come at them with an institution they distrust with a whole bunch of change, they're going to have even more insecurity. They're going to recoil. I think that's that's happened. I think the president would have been wiser to go step by step to rebuild that trust in government. I still think that's what he should do today.
David Brooks, 30 seconds. The outlook.
Well, it's going to be a good year for Republicans. I'm actually beginning to think for the first time in my life there's a prospect for a third party at some point in the future. I just don't see how we get out of the fiscal hole if Republicans are not willing to raise taxes, Democrats not willing to cut spending. I just don't see how we get out of that, and that is the predicate. For the first time in my life, I thought maybe somebody could run a third party for president, not for Congress this year.
Modern-day Ross Perot.
Hopefully a little saner, but yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. The debate will certainly continue. Thank you all very much.